document. You go to the Auditor General's website, they always have that report, right? The IGG publishes these reports. The Parliamentary Public Accounts Committee has all these documents before them. COSASE, as a committee of parliament, also has these public records. So again, going back to what Anna was talking about, to what Tatiana and indeed Dr. Sarah was talking about, on the aspect of, so like the citizenry shouldn't resign from their responsibility in the fight. It requires you to invest time in research, because you're not going to go and point at this official that you stole money. They'll actually come back for you. But when you have concrete evidence, right, which is available in government documents, we all remember the Akibua Stadium, right? Its artistic impression and actually what was on ground. We all remember that, right? So what came in my mind is, how come the people where the stadium is constructed did not labor to find out how much money was released, on what has been constructed against what actually is the artistic impression, right? And what happened to that money anyway, because I remember that that money was released. I can tell you, I can give you a classic example. They ordered all MPs who had taken the 20 million shillings as part of the COVID-19 recovery money. You remember at the peak of the COVID-19, that parliament. And I did an investigation, I think it's called The Eyes Have It. They ordered all MPs to return this money. How many of those returned that money? You see, the problem we have as Ugandans, we forget very fast. We move on very fast. We have since moved on from the past. MPs were ordered to send back that money. That money was 10 billion. It is clear the president put out that order, the judiciary put out that order. They were supposed to return that money to the district task force, like the district level, so that that money is brought back to the consolidated fund. There are different documents that were put out by the secretary to the treasury, then Keith Muhakanisi, instructing all districts to collect this money and be returned to the national coffers. That story went quiet. The MPs have since, some of them never came back to parliament. We've already moved on. And the media is not actually doing its job of looking back on some of these scandals. There have been several scandals in the past, which we have since decided to just move on. We move on. And the moment we resign our responsibility of holding our people accountable and think that Sarah Birete alone can do it, or Solomon Serwanjja, or anyone who speaks up against these things, because perhaps you fear, what will happen to me if I stand up and say, Honorable Prime Minister, this government stole money, you know? What will happen to you if you stood up and said the army is given a supplementary budget of this amount? Is it okay that after maybe 10 years that budget is declassified so that we know what exactly that money did at that time? You know, have you, for example, taken the opportunity to read these reports that are published annually? Sarah just told us that the IGG released a report that showed that we lose 1 million shillings every hour. This is the auditor, this is the IGG's report. So how do we, I think for me, the problem has been is that we have failed to attach corruption to the everyday people. We have failed to find that connection of why should you care about a report that shows that we're losing 1 million shillings. Why should you care that money is being swindled? I was discussing with Sarah the other day that the Supreme Court hasn't sat for 6 months. And their lordships and justices, the mighty women of justice and men, are receiving a salary, they're getting all this money, but they have not done anything. Like, because, so you can imagine, but no one of us is talking about it. We are quiet because anyway, why should we care?